Focus. Fight.
Ready.
Win. Collect the bounty, but do not...
Hello everyone, my name is Pendragon E01 and welcome to the Noob Contingency. With me as always is my co-host with the oh-so melodic tones, Upershot 93. Welcome to a review of Titanfall 2. I've been really excited about this game since the original Titanfall. The interesting thing about that game was that there were some obvious mistakes they made with the game design, but they were mistakes that were made because of creative decisions, not because of financial ones, which I think, you can always look back and say, oh, a creative decision didn't work out well. But financial decisions, that's always just the game companies trying to stick it to us. I'm not about that.
No.
But Titanfall 2 has always been, I've been really excited about this. How about you?
I fucking love Titanfall. It's the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. Everyone kind of hated it the first time around because it lacked so much content, which was definitely a bit of a drag, but just like the controls, the feel, the atmosphere, everything about it, just how original it was such a breath of fresh air. Granted, future settings are being done so much that with the Titans in the mix, it was just such a great thing to experience. And the moment I heard Titanfall 2, when that, like the trailer, when the mech dropped and he put his sword in the ground, oh my god, I was on the hype train, full steam ahead. Because
it's not your average shooter. It's not like everything else where it's just you, a little infantryman running around shooting people. It's a very, very different game. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Titanfall 2 is a first-person shooter based around Titans, which are giant robots that you ride. You've got two very different play styles. You play as either the pilot, who runs and
nimble,
jumps
around,
runs on walls and stuff like that, or you play as the Titan, which is a giant robot smashing things, blowing things up.
True.
So it's really, really awesome. The game is really fun to look at. I really like the style they've gone with. They've got this nice blend of natural environments coupled with futuristic settings, which is really interesting. What do you think about it?
The colors, everything they use to not make it look so repetitive it's very varied and it's very nice to look at. You've got, like in the campaign, you start off in a jungle and you're going through all these lush vegetation, and then next level you're going through like this old military base and through like this factory, which is probably one of the highlights, and we won't talk about too much because it is a really fun thing to experience on your own, but just the settings are really great and really challenging too when you're running through them. It's not like your typical first-person linear path. It's very set in stone where you gotta go, but there's so much room to work with that it's almost like you kind of gotta take a second to plan out what you're gonna do and then do it.
Right, and the soundtrack serves to back up the graphics as well. You've got this really sci-fi, echoey, orchestra type soundtrack, very reminiscent of like Halo or like some of those 1980s sci-fi films. Really epic sounding. The voice acting is pretty on point.
It's very good, yeah. I like the banter between BT, which is the giant Titan you get in the campaign, and Jack Cooper, who's the character you are in the campaign. It's kind of like your typical buddy cop robot movie affair.
Buddy cop robot.
Where, the robot is...
Copyright Noob Contingency.
Where the robot, is, he's a robot, doesn't have emotion, so he analyzes everything with a very robotic analysis, with a very robotic point of view. And then, the human kind of letting off with the quips, and then the robot implies something robotic, and you're like, that's funny. But I like the dialogue that happens. I think it's really immersive.
Right, and everything sounds really, it sounds real. Like the Titans sound like giant pieces of machinery, and then you have wildlife in the campaign that sounds like wildlife would. The gunfire sounds realistic. Everything just sounds convincing.
Yeah.
As far as the gameplay goes, like we've mentioned, it's not your typical shooter. The pilot is exceptionally nimble. You're running along walls, you're double jumping, there's all sorts of movement options and stuff like that. And then it's coupled with the Titan that is giant and, you know, gets in other fights. Like, imagine any epic Power Rangers fight, except more awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just there's so much it gives you. Like, I don't know where to like begin. Like, you've got your different pilots you can choose now. You've got your different Titans you can choose now. They each have their own abilities. It's not like in the first Titanfall where you could just pick your pilot and then pick your ability. Each pilot, I guess you could say, is an ability. Like, each pilot body has its own ability that you can choose, and then from there you can then choose your Titan, which also has different abilities, which affects its gameplay. So like the bigger Titans will obviously have more defense, but they tend to be the heavy hitters, such as Scorch and Legion, whereas the lighter ones, such as Ronin or North Star, where North Star being like kind of like the sniper Titan, and Ronin being the sword wielding counterpart. Lighter, more nimble in Titan terms, but they're extremely weak, just extremely weak, and you have to play to their play styles, because if you don't, then you're going to get wrecked. And it's so much variation and so much content compared to the first one. And
both the pilots and the Titans have their individual loadouts as well, and they've got a wealth of weapons and grenades and abilities that they can all select from, on top of just their innate abilities as well. So there's a crap ton of customization. There's a crap ton of gameplay styles that you can choose from.
Touching on the game modes, it's got pretty much your regular first-person affair game modes, such as Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag. Two standouts, though, are Bounty Hunt, and Coliseum. And what Bounty Hunt is essentially, so you got a team of pilots that's going against each other, 5v5, and what they have to do is kill all these neutral enemies. It's kind of like Warzone, like Halo 5, where you've got like the AI running around doing its thing, and so whoever kills the most, you get money for each kill you do, and then you have to deposit that money in a bank on 2 points in the map. It's like mini Capture the Flag. You kind of kill the guy, get the money, hold it until the bank opens, and then you put it in the bank, and it's really fun.
And then there's Coliseum, which is 1v1, where you go into a map with the same Titan, same loadout.
No
Titan?
Just pilot.
Just pilot.
Pilot v pilot.
Okay, so pilot v pilot, same loadout, same abilities, and you duke it out.
Yeah, I played about 6 matches of that, and yeah, you get the same gun, the same ability, and the same grenade. You just duke it out in a flat Coliseum. Sounds really lame. Sounds kind of boring. You start playing it, it's intense. Like you got to be on your toes with it. It's kind of like gun game, or like Sticks and Stones, like from Black Ops. Like you got those like little gamble wager matches. That's what it is, and it's pretty fun.
And we've been talking a lot about the multiplayer, but the campaign is amazing as well. Reminds me of a game that is the offspring of some weird love triangle between Halo, Modern Warfare, and Mario. Like, it's got this weird platforming thing, which you don't think would work in an FPS, but it totally does. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Not your typical first-person shooter campaign where they just want to get you into the multiplayer as quick as possible, which is a vast improvement on the original Titanfall, which didn't have a campaign at all.
They did. It was multiplayer campaign, which was a good experiment, but it's better left dead.
Right, and like I said, I can forgive that mistake because it was one that sprang from trying to do something creative, as opposed to we want to get as much money from you as possible.
Yeah.
So I can get behind that, and now that they've added a real campaign to it, it's really awesome. Definitely a campaign that I'm going to come back to.
And speaking of money, just a fun fact for everyone, I believe I read all DLC for Titanfall 2 is going to be free. What better way to support a developer than free stuff?
Yeah, Respawn has just been amazing since they broke away from Activision. They've been great. Great game. I'm going to give it a 4.5 What say you? 4.3. That's not. You can't say 4.3.
I'm saying 4.3. You can round it to a 4.5, but I'm saying 4.3.
Okay, so the noob contingency gives us a 4.5 because we're going to ignore Upershot and it's 4.3. Nonsense.
Whatever.
But great game. Highly, highly recommended. If you're looking for something different, this is the game to go to.
I'm gonna say COD killer. I know you said that everyone says everything's COD killer, but this is the COD killer. This is the nail in the coffin that is COD's resting place.
Well, I won't go that far, but it definitely is worth checking out. In any case, thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you at our next video. If you have any comments or you want to have a conversation about anything we said, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Follow us at Twitter. We're not that exciting on Twitter yet, but
we're getting there.
We're working on it. It's a work in progress.
And I know we're doing a lot of reviews lately, but that's
There's a lot of games coming out.
It's the holiday season, guys, and you guys know what that means in the video game world. So, but in the future, we will be doing different things here, especially within the coming weeks. And on top of that, we'll be having some more surprises. So spread the word and keep tuned.
Yeah, if you like what you see, hit that like button if you want to see more of it. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. You guys have been awesome so far. So we just want to keep growing the community and growing that conversation about video games because that's what we're all here for.
Help me to help you.
Help you. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Doodles.